Good day. You've just watched a video in which we had wooden balls in a beaker totaling 500 mils, and then we could add sand and the overall volume didn't increase. We're trying to give you a macroscopic description of what happened. In other words, macroscopic means big enough to see. And so here we had particles, the wooden balls were acting like atoms, but they're big enough for us to see with our eyes. And so it's a simulation. And then what we're trying to illustrate is there's empty space between the wooden balls. And so by adding a certain amount of sand, it could fill the empty space without increasing the overall volume. And that becomes very important for when you watch the next demonstration. So you have some numbers to fill in on your notes. First of all, you write down, it may already be there, the 500 mils of wooden balls. Then our lab assistant added 50 milliliters of sand, and it didn't change the overall volume. It should have been 550 mils, so it looks like we lost 50 milliliters. Our explanation is there's empty spaces between the wooden balls. And that means the sand could fill in those empty spots. Well, it turns out there's actually empty space between the sand. So if we added water, we could add water and not increase the overall volume of the mixture, because the water would fill in the empty space between the wooden balls and also between the grains of sand. So here's a diagram. I know it's graduated cylinders rather than beakers, but what I've done is those are representing the wooden balls. And then what you can see is when we throw sand in, now that sand's filling in towards the bottom in the empty space. So that's a diagram you have to copy out. And it's really important you understand this from what you saw, and then you have to use your imagination in our next activity.